Hi and welcome. My name is Shannon and I'm a UX practitioner. My field of study is in user experience design and I have a background in web design, user research, and 508 compliance. During this video, I will cover accessibility and usability and how they can overlap and work together to form inclusive design. I will also highlight the main principles that will help you design for accessibility. What is accessibility in UX design? While usability refers to the ease with which users interact with your product, accessibility ensures they can access it. When we hear the term accessibility, we often think about accommodations. Accommodations are important, but there are other aspects of accessibility. Accessibility can be confused with usability. There is some overlap, but they are different, and one cannot exist without the other. Usability measures how easy a product is to use and learn. It also refers to how functional a product is and whether users can perform tasks quickly. Accessibility ensures that the design takes care of the user's special needs and provides an equitable experience to all members in the audience. Together, usability and accessibility enhance the user experience for all. Inclusive design, also called universal design, makes products usable to everyone, regardless of age, ability, or circumstance. For example, we might think that using closed captions, high contrast colors, and keyboard-friendly tools would be user-friendly only for people with disabilities. But as it turns out, those tools help able-bodied users too. Inclusivity signals to others, your students, your clients, your customers, that you have a commitment to them. It also shows that your classroom or company is legally compliant and you are interested in an overall better user experience. You should ask yourself if your design is in an environment that can be accessed and used by as many people as possible, regardless of age, gender, and disability. What does designing for accessibility mean? You'll certainly want to visit the World Wide Web Consortium and the Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, but there are 4 main principles for removing obstacles that prevent users from using our products. When determining if your design is accessible, ask yourself if the product you're designing can live up to the following principles. The accessible design principles are perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. We'll look at each principle one by one. First, is my design perceivable? Think about the time it takes to consume the information, the adaptability of the content, and the ways that different layers of the content can be consumed. Can the content be consumed in different ways? Second, is my design or product operable? Can it function without the use of a mouse? Can it be sped up, slowed down, or paused? Can it function without confusion? Can it function without complex interactions? Third, is my design understandable? Is the text understandable by different audiences? Can a user understand how the UI functions? Can the user understand the information on my website or interface? Can the user quickly correct errors? Fourth, is my product robust? Think about the different types of devices and assistive technologies that may access your content. Does your product or content maximize the number of devices that can access it? When designing a product, we shouldn't assume that we know everything there is to know about our users. One helpful way to understand the user is to create personas. Personas are rich stories that we create about who might use our product or content. Such stories help us think through the ways in which we can adapt our work to include as many people as possible. Plan to create personas with different abilities and understand that you'll need to revisit these personas or add new ones over time. Later in this module, you'll be provided with a checklist to help you think through accessibility, but for right now, we'll consider some basic rules for creating personas. When creating accessibility personas, first focus on the actor. Think about how that actor will interact with your content and what struggles they might have. Understand where the barriers might be. Where can you adapt your product or content to help the persona understand and connect? Suppose you develop a persona named Indira who can't use a mouse comfortably. Instead, she uses a joystick to navigate the screen. Can she use your product or materials? What barriers might she experience? As you develop the personas, make sure you have represented 4 of the main disability categories: visual, auditory, physical, and cognitive. When a persona has visual differences, Consider factors such as enlarged font, color contrast, using cues other than color, robust alternative text, and video descriptions. When a persona has auditory differences, consider factors such as transcripts for audio and video, embedded captions and subtitles, and sign language feeds. When a persona has a physical difference, consider making links, buttons, and form fields accessible for those using a keyboard, a mouse, a joystick, a touchpad, a pen mouse, or even an eye tracking system. Be sure your documents and forms are in tab order, and make certain that your document can be tabbed through easily. When possible, consider autocomplete. Because some technologies are slower than others, consider removing time limits for users to complete a form or task. When a persona has a cognitive difference, consider simple, self-explanatory terms. Links should be specific and descriptive, and headings should clearly delineate the content. Create a linear structure for your content, and consider using descriptive icons in addition to text. Finally, make sure that audio and video does not play automatically. As you begin to consider your product, think about what you've learned so far. Accessibility and usability are closely related, but they are different. To be inclusive, your product and content should be both accessible and usable. As you prepare to change your product or content for inclusivity, create a few personas with different ability levels to consider their perspective. Finally, remember that being inclusive is a journey, not a destination. Keep reflecting on your work and keep learning. Thank you for your time.